Thank you for tuning in to the Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth. This week we have been talking about trust. Earlier in the week I even quoted a scripture we're going to read today. A very common verse used on the topic of trust, found in Proverbs chapter 3. But I actually want to read a portion above it, and then a portion after it. Sometimes we have these verses that as small children we start to memorize. We do that in kids' church every week. How important to memorize scripture and let it get embedded into your heart. Powerful. But sometimes we don't know the context around those verses. We just know the verse. We're going to take a little bit of time today and read 12 verses in Proverbs to see the context around the verse that we're also familiar with. Proverbs 3, starting in verse 1, says this: "My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity." I love this father to child conversation we get to see in on. "Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck, write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor with a good name in the sight of God and man." Being given advice on how to live a godly life, how to be an example. Then we come to some familiar verses. He says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight." He goes on to say, "Do not be wise in your own eyes." We can do that sometimes. "Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine." We actually talked about being faithful with our tithes and offerings earlier this week. He goes on to say, "My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke." You know, those of us that have parented children understand that discipline is an important part of good parenting. And here this father to his son is saying the same thing. Don't despise when God corrects you. It's out of love. It says, "Because the Lord disciplines those he loves. As a father, the son he delights in." These are beautiful scriptures, and it goes on. I encourage you, if you have time today, to read through the entire chapter, Proverbs 3. But taking time to think about those verses, taking time again to think about that relationship that you have with God. God doesn't just tell us blindly to trust him. Just trust me. But he wants to have a relationship with us. He wants to interact with every area of our life. He wants to encourage. He wants to provide. He wants to correct and rebuke to protect us. Encourage you as you spend time with the Lord today to think about what trusting God looks like in your life. How have you seen God correct you at times? And how did you respond when he did? How have you seen God provide for you at times that you trusted him with something and he came through? And how did that build your faith? Take some time thanking the Lord and also asking the Lord to continue to build that trust in your life. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope to see you again tomorrow for another Daily Dose for Spiritual Growth.